Yo, welcome back to the house where we talk news, celebrities, and hot topics. I want to go ahead and talk Tamar Braxton, Kandi Burruss Tucker, and Lenny the Leaks. All right, let's break it down. Tamar Braxton went on to Lenny the Leaks in her podcast, and she was doing a bunch of this. Okay, a bunch of this, a bunch of talking, a mile a minute about any and everything. Tell me why this lady called Lonnie Love a big back Cadillac. Tell me why Tamar Braxton is still talking about Lonnie Love. Tell me why in her head she still feels like Lonnie Love got her fired from The Real. Tell me why, since The Real has been canceled, Adrienne Bailon Houghton has gotten married, has a child. Jeannie Mai, who never wanted a child, got married, had a child, and divorced. Okay. Garcelle Beauvais has done 5 Lifetime movies, Black Girl Missing 1, 2, and 3, made up with Dorito, broke back up with Dorito, broke up with Sutton Strack, and quit the Housewives. Okay. Amanda Seales been at it with every cast member of Insecure. Right. Lonnie Love has done 5 comedy tours. And yet Tamar Braxton is still on somebody's platform talking about how Lonnie is a big back Cadillac. This is the same lady that sat on The Real 8-9 years ago, or it was probably longer than that, 10 years ago or whatever, talking about how she was so distraught because K. Michelle called her a Muppet years prior to that. And now you're going to turn around in the year of our Lord 2025 talking about Lonnie Love is a big back Cadillac. Tamar Braxton, shame on you. But y'all, that's beside the point, all right? What I really wanted to show y'all is the fact that Tamar is on this platform talking about how Kandi Burruss needs to be a better person and how she sways public opinion. She manipulates and she lies and she sways public opinion. Let's watch.
Okay, you and Kandi, what's your problem?
Kandi, if you're watching, and we know you're watching, the thing is this: we don't have an issue with you. We're not jealous. We actually celebrate your success. No, seriously. But you got to be a better person. You are doing things behind the scenes, knowing that you are lying on people.
Behind the scenes,
no, it's not fair. It's not fair for you to deliberately use the public's opinion to manipulate them into thinking that people are really coming after you when we're not. That's not right.
Kandi uses her following, her platforms, her influence, and the character that she has built for herself onto Housewives. She uses that to her advantage to sway public opinion. That's why you always see her on Instagrams and podcasts and interviews and Amazon Lives. She's always talking and talking and talking, getting her side of the story out there. And, that's her thing. I don't feel like that's a bad thing. She calls it lying and manipulation. I call it PR. I guess Tamar Braxton still feels a way, right, about Kandi Burruss Tucker. And their beef stems from, I believe, 2017 when Tamar was on the Great Escape tour with Escape and Monica. And, there was a situation where, according to Tamar, Kandi stuck her 2 cents into a situation, and Tamar claims that Kandi made her life horrible on that tour. They hashed it out during Celebrity Big Brother, teamed up on Celebrity Big Brother, but Kandi got evicted, and then Tamar won the show. And then after that, a few years later, Kandi Burruss came onto this platform and said that Carlos King stole Escape Life Story and, wanted to sell it to TV One. And Kandi Burruss said TV One is too cheap. We need to be in theaters. And so she got the band back together and whatnot. Then after that, Tamar Braxton went on to Dish Nation and said she doesn't believe that Carlos King is a thief. Okay, she was defending her friend, basically calling Kandi a liar, liar, pants on fire. And then in 2023, about a year later, Escape was doing a concert. Tamar Braxton was doing the same concert. Tamar Braxton ran into Todd Tucker and Kandi Burruss behind the scenes at that concert. And allegedly, according to Tamar Braxton, Todd Tucker started cursing Tamar Braxton out. And then that's when Tamar Braxton went to Instagrams and said, y'all's favorite Peach and her husband just attacked me behind the stage. And then 6 months later, she said that Peach and her husband was Todd and Kandi. Then Kandi the next day went onto her Amazon Live and said, that's not true, that's not true. And here we are today where Tamar Braxton is telling Kandi Burruss Tucker to be a better person. So y'all let me know how y'all feel about the situation in the comments down below. It is a mess. Speaking of Kandi Burruss Tucker, why is Kandi Burruss Tucker on Amazon Live and she's speaking about Miss Britt Eady and how Miss Britt Eady is stealing Kenya Moore's catchphrases.
You know, don't go at the person that you like dropping their taglines. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
it's like how Portia is using Marlo's tagline backwards.
yeah, that did that. What I meant was like, you know, things like people have known, like
They're
sayings they were known
twirl,
to say, twirl
on.
or
Yeah, no, I
don't
get
come
it.
for me unless I come, you know, like those things.
What I really want, Kandi to talk about is the fact that Andy Cohen went on to Watch What Happens Live, his show, and said that Phaedra Parks is here to stay.
What do you think of Phaedra's departure from Married to Medicine? And what can you tease about her return to Atlanta Housewives?
I mean, she's hopping around, isn't she?
Yeah.
Just like, sit over there. Where would she go next? Would she stay with us? Or
No,
would she...
she's staying. Yeah.
He said Phaedra Parks is here to stay. Kandi, talk about that. That's what I want to hear you talk about, Kandi. That's what I want to hear you talk about, Kandi. I want to hear you talk about that. I want to hear you talk about how Andy said that Phaedra Parks is here to stay. Y'all let me know how y'all feel about everything in the comments down below. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, and don't forget to create a great day. Love you. Bye.